Hello children, I'm very happy to be taking class for you today. So today we are going to do a civics lesson. Alright, before that I'm going to read a quote. Hesiod, a Greek poet, said, "A bad neighbor is a misfortune and a good neighbor is a great blessing." Okay, that's very true, right? We all have neighbors around us. And it's always nice when we have a good relationship with them rather than having any fights or any arguments and all that. It's always nice when it's all friendly. So based on that, I'm going to tell you the name of our lesson. It's India's international relations. Okay, our country is always a very peace-loving country. Yes, India has always tried to have a good relationship with all her surrounding nations, and our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru also said that we cannot be only dependent, nor can we be independent. We always have to be interdependent. Okay. So we rely on other nations for various things, and other nations rely on us for various things as well. Okay, we export a lot of rice, okay, and we import a lot of petroleum. So like that, we are interdependent. All nations should be interdependent. Okay. Now, if you look at the screen, you can see the India map over there. The deep blue color is India, and if you see around, you can see all the neighboring countries of India. Now, to the northeast, we have Afghanistan and Pakistan, and to the north we have China, we have Nepal and Bhutan. To the east you have Bangladesh, to the far east you have Myanmar, to the southeast you have Sri Lanka, and to the southwest you have Maldives. Okay, so these are the 8 neighboring countries of India. Now we are going to look into India's relationship with each country. Okay, now first is India and Afghanistan's relationship. Now, India and Afghanistan, their relationship roots back to, in history, if you see over here, to the Indus Valley civilization, and even during the reign of Kanishka, a large number of Indian missionaries went to China, Central Asia and Afghanistan to preach Buddhism. Kanishka ruled the northern part of India as well as parts of Afghanistan as well. Okay, and he sent missionaries into China and Central Asia and Afghanistan to preach Buddhism. We also have Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. There's a picture of him on the screen. He was a very important leader of the Indian independence movement. He was a very active supporter of the Indian National Congress as well. So what does India do for Afghanistan? It provides assistance with health, water, agriculture and duty-free access to the Indian market. They don't have to pay tax. Helps with education, with infrastructure, in building institutions. Okay. And India and Pakistan signed the Strategic Partnership Agreement in 2011. All right, mutually helping each other. India helped Afghanistan in the construction of the Salma Dam in the Herat province. We know that the dam is very important, and especially in these days. Yes, we all need water. Dam was built to help with irrigation, okay, and for hydroelectricity as well. We go to the next one, we see that India announced 500 scholarships for the children of Afghan martyrs of Afghan secretary. Okay, we also have people who died for our country, yes, and fighting for our country, they have died. So here we see that India has given scholarships for children in the schools of Afghanistan and in India as well. Now look at the next slide, children. You see over there, they are mining coal. Okay, Afghanistan is a very mineral rich country, but they do not have enough resources to completely mine everything out on their own. So they have invited India to invest in their mining sector. So you find iron ore, copper, gold and coal as well in Afghanistan. Okay, many public and private companies have invested. India's Self-Employed Women's Association imparts training on sustainable livelihood and to be self-reliant. So what does this mean? Okay, women in our country are getting educated today. Most of us are getting educated, but there are still women who are not educated. Okay, they're either dropouts or they do not complete college. Okay, they're not sent to college rather. So this helps women to learn any trade like either weaving or basket making or pottery, something like that. Okay, so something small where they will know everything about that particular trade and they would be able to be self-sufficient. They will have money to have a good livelihood. India has built the Kandara International Cricket Stadium. Okay, so it also supports Afghanistan in providing public health and also with small-scale industries. So what are small-scale industries? Small-scale industries means it's not large-scale. Okay, rather than it's not very expensive or it does not need a big capital. All right, small-scale industries are like, you know, like they make chalks and they sell. They make paper plates. and small party decorations and all these are small scale industries. Even pottery also, okay, mud pots, you see these people making and selling, yes. So all this needs less employees and also does not need a lot of capital. And then India also contributes to the development of Afghanistan in the form of monetary aids and funds. So next we're going to see India and Bangladesh, all right. When Bangladesh wanted to be an independent country, India was the first country to acknowledge their independence. Okay? India and Bangladesh share the longest land boundary of 4,096.7 kilometers. If you look at the tabular column on the screen, you can see Bangladesh, China, Pakistan and all the neighboring countries there. And out of all the lengths of the borders, Bangladesh is the most. You can see over there, all around Bangladesh, you can see India. India has plans to implement the proposed rail connectivity, okay, between Agartala and Akhaura. If you see, there's a small red line on the map. You can see it from Bangladesh to India, okay. So this is a 15-kilometer rail link. Bangladesh granted India road transit facility. Now, why are they saying Bangladesh granted India? Now, you cannot just go somewhere and build a road. Yes, you need to get the permission of that country or that state or that place. You have to have the permission. So, Bangladesh granted India road transit facilities through its territories from Kolkata to Agartala via Dhaka under the BBIN MVA. Okay, now what is the BBIN? So, you have Bangladesh, Bhutan, India and Nepal corridor. And what is MVA? MVA is Motor Vehicle Agreement. Okay, so if you look over there in the map, you can see the pink line, okay, running through all these countries. Next over here, you see the rivers, where you can see the Fakara Accord on sharing of Ganga waters signed in 1977. It's a very historical event because actually we are sharing our water with Bangladesh. Okay, Bangladesh, yes, Bangladesh needs water. So what comes from the Himalayas flows through India and flows out to the Bay of Bengal through Bangladesh. So this was known as the Fakara Accord, also known as the Fakara Barrage. A barrage means it's not like a dam, okay, it's not like making a reservoir, okay, but a barrage is where a wall is built where it channels the water. Suppose the water has to flow straight, it's built in such a way that it channels the water to change the course of flow, okay. So that's how it is distributed into further into Bangladesh for them to have water. Now, if you see, India and Bangladesh share 54 common rivers and a bilateral joint. Bilateral means a joint for both of the countries, okay. River Commission is working to maximize benefits from common river systems. Yes, we all need water. Water is very, very, very important, okay. Now, next over here, you see, you have both countries jointly inaugurated the construction of the 130-kilometer Bangladesh-India Friendship Pipeline. If you see over there, this is an oil pipeline, okay, to send diesel from West Bengal into Bangladesh. If you look at the next image over there, you have Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and you have Sheikha Hasina, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, shaking hands over there. This was during the inauguration. The pipeline is not yet completed, okay, but this was the inauguration of the event. Below them, you can see the India map, right, from Bangladesh into India, West Bengal, you can see the line going. We have Indian Council for Cultural Relations, that is ICCR. Okay, so what happened is, in addition to all this, what else does India do for Bangladesh? Okay, there are scholarships granted by ICCR every year for students in Bangladesh, and it has initiated a Tagore chair in the University of Dhaka. You know Rabindranath Tagore, right? The story behind it is they found a chair of his, so thereby Tagore chair. All right. The government of India also provides grant assistance, okay, so aid for Bangladesh, because to construct various labs and buildings and deep tube wells. Deep tube wells is like a long cylindrical well, right deep, like a huge pipe, okay, till the water is hit, and then you can take out that water, all right. Now, this is the Teen Biga corridor. It's a strip of land, okay, it's only about 10 kilometers. In the West Bengal Bangladesh border, okay, and this piece was actually leased to Bangladesh in 2011. Now, next we're going to see India and Bhutan. Now, Bhutan is a very beautiful country. It is also known as the Thunderbolt, okay, the land of Thunderbolt, because it has heavy thunderstorms. That is why it's called the land of Thunderbolt. Alright, now the diplomatic relations between India and Bhutan were established in 1968 with the appointments of a resident representative of India in Thimphu. Now, Thimphu is the capital of Bhutan. So, one person who's representing India will live over there in Bhutan's capital, okay, just for diplomatic relationships. So, if you look at the map over there, Bhutan is a landlocked country, okay. If it wants access to the sea, it has to cross some other country only and come, okay, because there is no direct access for it. If you look at the map well, you can see beside it there's China and then Nepal and then Myanmar, you have India, Bangladesh. You have to, for them to access the sea, they have to cross another country to come in. So, India is a principal contributor in the economic development for Bhutan. Now, you have B2B, that is India declared a bilateral trade known as Bharat to Bhutan. Bharat for Bhutan and Bhutan for Bharat. The color of our passports may be different, but our thinking is the same. India stands committed to Bhutan's happiness and progress. So, he has given this quote stating that India is always happy to help the other nation. Maybe our passports may be different, but we are more or less the same, okay. So, what does this India do? It provides scholarships for the students to study in not just normal colleges, but in very nice, high prestigious institutions in our country. They also set up a digital library in Bhutan. So, next you have the Nehru Wangchuk Scholarship, okay. So, here the most talented Bhutanese student receives a scholarship to study in a prestigious Indian educational institute. The next slide we can see over here, it states that the Hydalpa, okay, actually in Bhutan we have about 5 hydroelectricity projects, but 3 of them have been constructed by our country, okay. And then the Hydalpa sectors represent one of the main indicators of bilateral cooperation between India and Bhutan. Next, in the third point, you can see that it helps in also developing the country's infrastructure by establishing telecommunications and constructing hospitals and roads and bridges, okay. Now, that was about India and Bhutan. Now, next we are going to see India and China's relationship. Now, we all know China is very nicely developed and it's fast growing, and we buy so many products which says made in China, yes. So, it's also called manufacturing hub, all right. The top picture shows China's wonderful geographic and demographic dimension, okay, and below that we have, it's like a factory where all the people are sitting and manufacturing goods, all right. That is why I said China is known as the manufacturing hub. Now, if you look at the points on this slide, India and China share more or less the same kind of views in most of the things like World Trade Organization, international climate change talks, okay, and reforms of the World Bank. More or less they think the same way, they have the same kind of view. Now, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which was China's initiative, has granted the observer status to India, while SAARC had granted the observer status to China. So, interlinked, both of them, status from India was given to China and the status from China was given to India. Now, what is SAARC? Okay, the South Asian Association for Regional Countries. Now, both sides have established more dialogue mechanism. More dialogue mechanism is they had a lot of talks about various things, about diverse sectors, okay. Bilateral trade has been registered for enormous growth. That means both of them together, coming together. Bi means 2. So, 2 countries coming together for trade. And India and China has signed an educational exchange program. So, what does this exchange program state? Okay. Now, 25 students from China will be given a scholarship, all right, and 25 students from India will be given a scholarship for either country. So, from China 25 students to India and from India 25 students to China, and they can study in the best institutions, very good recognized institutions for their higher education. If you look at this slide over there, see the picture, you have something called the McMahon line, okay. Now, what is this line? Now, this is the boundary between India and China, okay. It was determined in 1914 at the Conference of Representatives of British India. And why is it called McMahon line? Is because the Secretary of State for India at that time, okay, was Arthur Henry McMahon. So, he was the one who represented India at the conference, okay, and that is why the line is known as McMahon line. Now, next we are going to see about India and Maldives, okay. Look at the map over there, you have the Maldives down. It's located south of the Lakshadweep Islands. You can see in the map also above, you can see Lakshadweep Islands, and down you can see the Maldives, okay. Now, what is the relationship with Maldives? It's very important because it gives India a strategic location and geographical proximity. Now, it's located in a way that is really important to our country because if one wants to visit, or if any, it's like a toll gate, you know, even here when you're riding to ECR and past that, if you're going, you have something called a toll gate, yes? So you have to stop there and it's like you're crossing a border. So it's like the toll gate for our country, okay? And then you have India and Maldives share ethnic means we have the same people group, okay? Linguistic, we have similar language, culture, religion, okay? And commercial links steeped in antiquity. So from old historic times, we have these various links. And we also enjoy cordial and multi-dimensional relations. So cordial means friendly relationship, okay? So if you see over there, it's a very pretty picture of Maldives. So many people go there for trade and tourism, okay? And this is from our country, many people go there for trade and tourism, and this is what links our countries as well. Now, both the countries have agreed to strengthen cooperation to enhance maritime security in the Indian Ocean region, okay? So patrolling and surveillance, even we have security not only on land but also on the ocean, okay? Because there are various laws and agreements signed by different countries. So that was about India and Maldives. So now we're going to see about India and Myanmar, all right? So the picture over there, say, welcome to India-Myanmar Friendship Road, okay? So that is known as the Friendship Road. Now, India's second largest border is shared with Myanmar. Now, Myanmar's old name was known as Burma till 1989, and then the name was changed to Myanmar. 4 northeastern Indian states, that is, you have Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram. Now, all these also share their borders like India with Myanmar, okay? Now, Myanmar is India's gateway to Southeast Asia. So, if you see in the next slide, you can see Myanmar there. The broader portion over there in Southeast is actually Myanmar. And since this connects India to Southeast Asia, it's like a gateway. Now, India is building the Kalandan multi-modal transport, that is the road river port cargo transport project to link Kolkata to Sitwe in Myanmar. Now, look at the map over there. You see over there the dark blue line connecting Kolkata. So, you first go by road and then via sea all the way going into Myanmar. You can see there Sitwe. Yes. So, this is the road river port which connects Kolkata with Myanmar. We also have another project which connects Kolkata with Ho Chi Minh City. If you look at the map over there, you can see Myanmar, Cambodia, Vietnam, okay? If you see that it's all connecting, all right? Now, this project is not completed, okay? But it is currently underway. It's not completed, but it's in process, okay? Now, Myanmar also has a lot of energy, okay? It's an important partner for various energy needs for petroleum and natural gas. If you look at the picture, you can see solar energy, wind energy, hydropower, okay? Now, some of the Indian companies, you have ESAR, GAIL and Onji Videsh Ltd, have invested in Myanmar's energy sector. So, that was about India and Myanmar. Next, we'll see about India and Nepal, okay? Nepal is like a natural buffer between India and China. What is natural buffer? Like a barrier, okay? If you look at the map on top over there, you can see India, then you can see Nepal, then you can see China, yes? Nepal is also landlocked. Like I told you before about Bhutan, landlocked means you have, there's no way out. You're completely surrounded by various countries, okay? So, because it's landlocked, it depends on India for economic support and transit facilities, yeah? Now, India shares borders in 5 Indian states, that is Sikkim, West Bengal, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. You have the map down there also. So, India and Nepal, India with Nepal share these borders, okay? Uttarakhand's border, Uttar Pradesh's border, Bihar, you also have Sikkim and West Bengal, okay? Now, if you see over here, we have Indian firms are the biggest investors in Nepal, okay? And also if you see Nepalese people come over here to our country to work as well. In many places you can see people from Nepal working in our country, staying here and working, okay? If you see the second point, India provides substantial financial and technical development assistance with the focus on infrastructure. You need irrigation, health, energy projects and community development, okay? Now, also India built the 204-kilometer long Mahindra Rajmarg to link Kathmandu and India. So, a place from Nepal and to India. So you can see over there the proposed railway link. Okay, so if you look at this slide over here, you can see that Nepal has a lot of endowed fast flowing rivers. Okay, so when the river is gushing and coming, flowing in a very fast speed, it's very good for hydroelectric power generation. Okay, so India has taken up the work of a 5,600 megawatt Pancheshwar project. Okay, and this has been in talks 18 years ago now. 18 years have passed and it has still not started. The project is still not underway because there are various things that say that it may be harmful for the environment as well. So the project has not yet started. Okay. Now, if you look at this picture, you can see you have the first image over there. It's Pashupati. Then you have at the side, you have Janakpur. These are the traditional centers of Nepal. Okay. Now, Nepali and Indian people visit each other's country for various pilgrimages. So if you see the first one, Pashupati, it's famous because of Lord Shiva. Okay. And if you see the next one, Janakpur, they say that Sita was born over there and she married Ram. That's according to the Ramayana, right? She also married Ram over there. So that's the story for Janakpur. All right. And down you have the Char Dham. All right. That is the 4 temples, like it's in Varanasi. Okay. Actually, these 4 are built in the 4 directions of our country. Okay. But if you see in the point over here, Pashupati and Janaka are traditional centers in Nepal, whereas Varanasi and 4 dhams are important pilgrim destinations in India. So these 4 are actually replicated in Varanasi. Actually, these 4 temples are built in the 4 directions of our country. Okay. But the exact same thing is replicated in Varanasi, and people go and visit that because they feel that they would attain moksha, like salvation. Okay, so here it says that a joint hydropower project is being built on the Sharda river. The Tanakpur hydroelectric project, it was commissioned in 1993 in April, okay, by the NHPC. Now, what is NHPC? National Hydroelectric Power Corporation. Okay, again see here with the barrage on the Sharda river near the town of Tanakpur in the district of Champawan. So, like I told you, what's the meaning of barrage, right? It's built to channel the water in a different direction. Now, this plant helps India as well as Nepal with electricity, okay, and also with irrigation facilities. Now, if you look at the next picture over there, you can see a tiger. Yes, so there are a lot of tiger reserves also along the India-Nepal border. The people in Nepal and India, they have a very good cultural bond, okay, and that friendship grew even better when, according to the 8th schedule of the constitution, Nepali's language, if you see over there, I've underlined over there Nepali, the language was included in our scheduled languages. Okay. Now, even we see over here, India and Nepal, they have sister city agreements. That means now the first cities like Kathmandu, Lumbini and Janakpur, they are in Nepal. And then you have Varanasi, Bodhgaya and Ayodhya, they are in India. So, sister city agreements is that Kathmandu and Varanasi will be alike. They will look alike, okay. So, this was agreement between India and Nepal, like Lumbini and Bodhgaya the same way, Janakpur and Ayodhya the same way. Alright, so next we are going to see India and Pakistan, okay. So, what happens since the bifurcation of territory? What is bifurcation? So, the dividing of territory, India and Pakistan's division, okay, which demarcated India and Pakistan, which demarcated means it gave a complete separation, okay, properly with the border, everything, okay, in 1947, yeah. Both the nations have a lot of like disagreements now and then, yes. What is our main concern? Terrorism remains our core concern in the relationship with Pakistan. Yes or no, children? We always have something or the other, terrorism or gunfire and the various things that happen, people lose their lives, yes. So, Pakistan has been antagonistic when maintaining relations with India. What does that mean? It's like antagonistic meaning it's like someone's foe, someone's enemy, okay. But India always tries to be loving, okay, tries to always improve and make its best effort to stabilize our relationship with Pakistan, okay. Now, look at the points that are on the screen. So, we have the cross-border firing, right, between India and Pakistan, and the terrorist attacks, they have taken a huge toll on Kashmiris. You know, Kashmir is up north, yes, the first state on top over there. So, those people live in very, very poor conditions, okay. They have very poor living standard and also there is no real human right for them because they're just slaughtered. Like, many people have lost their lives in these cross-border firings. Now, Kashmir is the bone of connection between India and Pakistan, yes? So, it actually brings these countries open to various clashes because it's so close. So, there is always some act of terrorism happening over there. Cross-border terrorism is a major irritant, which means it's not something good for us, okay? Now, India tried to bring a positive change in the relationship of the two countries through bilateral agreements such as the Shimla Agreement and Lahore Declaration, okay? So, if you see here, in 1972, the Shimla Agreement was signed between India and Pakistan, okay? So, if you look over there, the picture. So, actually what happened was, why this was signed, in 1971, we had a war with Pakistan, okay? So, there were a lot of soldiers that were kept with India. So, by signing this agreement, all the soldiers were sent back to their country, okay? The Lahore Declaration was also signed, okay? And it was signed by both the Prime Ministers. And that time, Atal Vajpayee was our Prime Minister. Here also, the main thing of this declaration was for peace between the countries, okay? Next, we have India and Sri Lanka. If you look over there, India and Sri Lanka, you have something called the Park Strait, yes? So, what does a strait mean? It's actually like a flow of water, okay, between two large water bodies, connecting two large water bodies, okay? So, India has cultural, historical and religious ties with Sri Lanka, yes? And we only separated by the narrow Park Strait, okay? India and Sri Lanka have shared excellent trade relations committing to each other, and we also have bilateral free trade agreements, okay? As well as developing interactions through SAARC. I told you what is SAARC, right? South Asian Association for Regional Countries. Now, if you look at the slide here, it tells us about India and Sri Lanka. We always have tried to be friendly, okay, but there was just a small Tamil ethnic problem, okay? That was over there in Sri Lanka. They the Indians were not treated so well. So that was just a small problem for a small amount of time. So if you look at this slide, India is the top investor in Sri Lanka. It invests in diverse areas, which includes petroleum, retail, IT, real estate, telecommunication, and tourism as well. Now, on the other hand, Sri Lanka also invests in India. So, if you see over here, you have Brandex. There's a picture of Brandex down over there. It's like a small city, the garment city in Visakhapatnam. You have MAS Holdings, John Keel's, Haley's, and they have invested in other things as well. Freight servicing. What is freight servicing? It's, you send commodities whether by railways or by air, okay? And you have also the logistic sector, all right? So, we have come to the end of the session, children. You have seen India's relationship with the 8 neighboring countries. So, I hope you understood. If you have any doubts, please do read the lesson and learn the meanings of the words so you would be able to understand the sentence better, okay? So, until the next session, children, take care. Thank you.